Good afternoon. My name is Patricia Dorn with the Maryland Insurance Administration. Welcome to our virtual government agency expo titled Frauds, Scams, and How You Can Protect Yourself. Today we have 4 speakers, myself, and representatives from Social Security, the Office of the Maryland Attorney General, and the Maryland Home Improvement Commission. Maryland has unfortunately experienced a destructive weather event recently with the hurricane and a horrible tragedy in Northwest Baltimore City with the gas explosion. So protecting Marylanders from fraud and scams are on all of our minds these days as the affected citizens of Maryland begin to recover and rebuild. Each of our speakers today will talk for 10 minutes. If you have a question during the presentation, there will be a question and answer period approximately 20 minutes long at the end. You should see a little chat bubble that should be preset to everyone. Use that window to send in your questions and don't change the setting. Leave it preset to everyone. If you do have a question, send it in as soon as you can. There's going to be lots of people on this presentation. If we run out of time, please email the respective speaker with any unanswered questions. We also ask that you keep your phones or computers on mute during this event. And with that, Joyce Peach from the Maryland Insurance Administration will introduce our first speaker.
Our first speaker is Diana Varela from the Social Security Administration Public Affairs Unit.
Good afternoon, everybody. And can you please advance to the first slide? You should see a screenshot of Social Security's website. And let me know when you're there, please.
We're on that slide.
Okay, just let me know. That should be slide number 2. And on behalf of the Social Security Administration, I would like to say thank you to the State of Maryland Insurance Administration for inviting me to participate at this session. We are very happy to participate and to be able to provide you with important information that you need, and as it was said before, so we can protect ourselves and our families. And are we ready?
Yes, your slides are up.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And you have a slide number 2 on the screen. It has a screenshot of Social Security's website.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. And to all of you on the call, I apologize for the inconvenience, but I am also just join you at this event by conference call. So I am unable to see the slides, but I get the help from Ms. Joyce. So thank you so much. As a reminder, Social Security turned 85 years old last Friday on August 14, and I would like to invite you to visit us online because after 85 years, we continue serving workers in America and their families as well. And during this health crisis, our employees remain teleworking, but ready to help you. You can actually conduct many businesses online, and you can also contact your local Social Security office. We are providing direct phone numbers of the local offices, and you can call them directly. Our representatives are ready to help you from 9 to 4, Monday through Friday. And please, on behalf of all of us at Social Security, we wish that you and your families stay safe. In the next slide, being safe, it has a different connotation these days because, yes, we are asking you to stay safe, healthy, but also being safe means to protect yourself against fraud, against identity theft. Because as you can see from this slide, there are millions and millions of reports of fraud that were sent to the Federal Trade Commission in the year 2019. And it is estimated that people have lost more than $667 million just in 2019 alone. And as we are going through this health crisis, scammers are finding different ways. And of course, you know, anything that is happening around us, they are using to commit fraud, to try to scam you. So please be aware of these scams. In the next slide, I would like to speak to you about a very, very disturbing scam that is going on. Telephone calls. You might have received a phone call, or you might have a family member who have received a call stating they are calling from the Social Security Administration. And they are telling you that the reason why they are calling is because they are going to cancel your Social Security number because you have committed a crime in another state, in a state in which you have never even visited. So these scams are going on. Please be aware of them. Know as a fact that, yes, Social Security might call you from time to time. If you are receiving Social Security benefits, we do reviews on the benefits that we administer. Any type of benefits that you receive, eventually we might have to do a review on your benefits. And we do this for several reasons, especially because we don't want people to experience changes that might affect the entitlement to the benefits. So we do these reviews all the time. So yes, we will call you, but we will send you a letter first. We will send you a letter to let you know that we either have a telephone appointment or that you need to contact us to provide certain information so you can continue receiving your benefits. But the big difference between Social Security representatives and any other person that is trying to commit a scam or fraud is that they will ask you for money. We will never threaten you. We will never ask you for money. And I can tell you that in the past, when I'm doing some of these reviews, people are being cautious about it. If you suspect fraud, if you're not really sure that a representative is calling you from the agency, you are to hang up that call. Do not engage in that conversation with that other person. That is our recommendation from the Office of Inspector General. In the next slide, we would like to provide you with 3 basic tips, which is number 1, understand the threats, understand and know that these calls are out there. With the health crisis that we are undergoing right now, there is a very common call that they are using COVID-19 to tell our Medicare beneficiaries that they are either going to send them a test kit or that they have a vaccine or medication, and then, you know, some of those seniors are falling for those concerns. Please understand there are people out there that will try to scam you and commit fraud and to get your money. Exercise caution. We always recommend, even when I make a call and I am a true employee of the administration, if the other person on the other side tells me, I don't believe that you are from Social Security doesn't call, you are a fake, I will say, that is fine. Please call our toll-free number to verify that I am an employee. Please call your local office. I don't mind at all if they don't really believe, and none of my coworkers mind at all if people don't believe that we're calling from Social Security, because we can always prove that we work for the agency. Worst scenario is somebody is giving the information thinking that that somebody else is really calling from the office. It is important that you secure your information. Do not provide personal information over the phone unless you verify this is a true call from a Social Security representative. The next slide is about, please protect your Social Security number, because your Social Security number is really the gate that anybody is going to use to commit fraud, to steal your identity. We are very, very jealous about protecting your personal information, and you should be very careful about it too. When I do outreach in the community, I ask people, do you have your Social Security card with you? And I am amazed about the number of people that still carry your Social Security card with you in your wallet. And I'm asking you, if you're on the call, do you have your Social Security card in your wallet? These days, yes, you are not going to too many places. But when we will be able, and that will be soon, to go to different places, put your Social Security card away. Because if somebody loses a wallet, if you have your driver's license or a state ID, and if you have also your Social Security card and number, anybody has all the information they need to steal your identity. In the next slide, you can see what will be the impact of somebody stealing your identity. And as you can see, when somebody steals your identity, they can use it for different reasons. They can use it to work. They can use it to commit crimes, to commit felonies, but also they can use it to apply for credit under your name. So it is many things that they can do, and therefore you have to protect your personal information. The Social Security number is not an identity document. You do not need it every day. If you're going to transact a business with a bank, that is one of the reasons why you could, use the car, the actual car. But if you're going just to the doctor, your doctor's office do not need to have your Social Security number if they have your Medicare ID card or your health insurance ID card. So please be jealous about your personal information. If you suspect there is an identity theft issue, please, in the next slide, there are a few steps that you can take to protect yourself. Call the companies where you think the fraud has occurred, put a fraud alert, report identity theft to the Federal Trade Commission. One question that we always get from the community is, I am a victim of identity theft. Can Social Security change my Social Security number? And the answer is, we will not change that Social Security number. We only change that Social Security number when there is an extreme and dangerous situation that somebody is put at if they had their personal information compromised. So please note that. Next slide actually is more information about assistance that you can get from many government agencies. Identity theft.gov, you can find more information. What are the steps that you need to take to recover your identity, to prove to other entities that actually somebody else was misusing your number. But the first line is prevention. Don't let that happen to you. Be
Diana?
careful with your personal information. Yes.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but everybody's got a hard 10-minute speech section. So if you could get through these last couple slides so that I can give everybody else a chance to do their presentations, please.
Yes, yes, and I'm about to finish. If you advance to slide number 11, please, because on slide number 11, I would like to let you know that once again, Social Security has benefits that we provide, and you can report misuse and abuse of Social Security benefits when somebody is, for example, receiving disability benefits and the person should not be receiving, or if a beneficiary is deceased and somebody else continues collecting the benefits. The following slides are mostly resources that you can utilize, and if you can share the slides with attendees, that would be great. And I'm going to stay on the call for any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Diana.
Welcome.
Next, we have Janine Robinson from the Office of the Maryland Attorney General, Consumer Protection Division. Janine?
Okay, good. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you this time.
All right. Okay, great. Okay, so next slide, please. Okay, so right now, scammers are definitely taking advantage of the pandemic because we're all at home and we're isolated, and we may be willing to pick up the phone and start talking and sharing some of our sensitive financial information. So what I want to do is give you 4 telltale signs of a scam. Next slide. So the first one that I want to go over is scammers are asking for ways that you can pay them where it's going to be hard for you to get your money back or recover your funds once you realize you've been scammed. So money wires are a big popular way that they're telling you to pay them, because money wires are redeemable anywhere in the world. Next slide. Another sign that you're dealing with a scammer is when they tell you to send funds using a green dot card or other prepaid debit card. And you can find these green dot cards in the gift card section of stores. So again, it's very difficult for you to get your money back once you've been scammed. Next slide. And following that, gift cards. Amazon.com, iTunes, Google Play, these are very popular gift cards. And what scammers may be doing is they may be reselling these to other people who are looking for a discount on a gift card, or they may be using them for their own personal use. So if someone is telling you to pay using a gift card, a red flag should go off. And the last sign of a scam that I want to go over, next slide, is when you did not initiate the contact and the scammer is asking you for your personal information. And it could be your social security number, it could be your bank account, your checking account information, your credit card. If you have an online bank account, your username and password. And I have to add to that list your health insurance, member ID information. And they may contact you by telephone, they may contact you by email or text message. And they may pretend to be a government agency, they may pretend to be a bank. But remember, legitimate organizations will not request sensitive information from you via text message, email, or telephone. And my best advice when dealing with scammers or potential scammers is always verify everything and take your time. There's no rush to give when you're giving information about yourself. Verify who you're dealing with. So why don't we jump into some COVID-19 scams? Next slide. So a lot of people are trying to get a COVID-19 test. So if you're on social media or even if you're on websites, you may see ads appearing for at-home COVID-19 test kits. And of course, people are increasingly interested in antibody tests because they want to find out, did I ever have COVID-19 3 months ago? So don't waste your money buying these test kits. They haven't been proven to be accurate. This is just an attempt by scammers to get your money. Also, you want to ignore any offers you see for bogus cures, vaccines, and treatments. We're not there yet in terms of having bona fide, scientifically proven cures, vaccines, or treatments. And you definitely don't want to take some of these things that are being sold on the market because they could actually harm you. So steer clear of those things. Um, you might have heard about these phony mask exemption cards. So scammers are actually selling a box of 500 for $50. And you can use these cards as your reason for not wearing a mask. First of all, public health experts advise you to wear a mask. And there is no government agency called the Freedom to Breathe Agency. The U.S. Department of Justice is not offering these cards. So don't fall for this scam. It's just another clever way of getting your money. And one other scam, and I found out about this scam this morning. Scammers are pretending to be the Federal Trade Commission offering a COVID-19 Global Empowerment Fund. So they're telling people you can get funding from this fund, and all you need to do is give us your bank account so we can direct deposit money for you. Unfortunately, there is not a fund out there that you can apply to being offered by the Federal Trade Commission or any government agency at this time. So steer clear of those types of scams. You've heard a lot about contact tracing in the news. If you have been exposed to someone who tests positive for COVID-19, um, you will be contacted by a contact tracer. Well, scammers are pretending to be contact tracers, and they may send you a text message that has a malicious link that they want you to click on. They may ask you when they contact you for your social security number, or they may tell you you need to pay a fee. This is not true. Legitimate contact tracers are not asking you to pay them, and they're not asking you for your social security number. They may ask you some health questions because they're trying to find out what your health situation is as a result of possibly being exposed to COVID-19. If you get a contact tracing call and you're not sure if it's legitimate, give your local health department a call and ask them to verify the call. Okay, so we all understand that there's a lot to learn about COVID-19. It seems like as the weeks and months go by, we're learning more about it. So scammers are sending emails to people or text messages claiming to be from the CDC or the World Health Organization. And they're telling them, we have updated information. Click on this link. Please don't click on that link because you could be downloading a virus to your computer or unleashing some kind of spyware. Um, if you want information about COVID-19 up to date, I would go to the Maryland Department of Health's website. I would type in the CDC's web address, or I would go to the World Health Organization. I would go to their websites. Um, I wouldn't trust an email that claims to be from any health organization with updated information. I would be very suspicious. In fact, I would delete it. I wouldn't even open it. Also, right now we know that a lot of people are struggling financially, and you're seeing charities asking for donations. Scammers are getting in on the act too, so be very cautious when it comes to charities that are calling you by phone because these could be scam charities. And these charities are very aggressive and they don't take no for an answer. They don't want to give you any information. They want you to donate. Next slide. So what can you do to protect yourself? The best thing to do is, if you don't recognize the telephone number, don't pick up. Don't pick up. It's okay not to pick up. I would be cautious with returning calls for a number that I'm not familiar with as well. Again, ignore offer advertisements on social media for cures and vaccines and home tests. And the other thing that's very important is guard your social security number, your health insurance number, and your financial information. Next slide. Also be cautious because scammers like to pressure you and they like to create a sense of urgency, and that's how they get you. So they make you feel like this is a limited time opportunity. If you don't jump on this, you're not going to be able to get this opportunity again. Or they may convince you that they're selling um, supplies for things like disinfectant wipes or hand sanitizer. And if you don't act now, you won't be able to buy these items. And again, if you try to purchase these items, they'll get your money, but you won't get any items in return. Again, if it's emails from health organizations, I wouldn't even open them. I would delete them from my email box. And when it comes to charities, you want to contact the Maryland Secretary of State to make sure that the charity is registered to be soliciting donations. And a red flag should go off if a charity says you can donate using a gift card or by wiring money. And as a rule of thought, or as a rule of practice, I should say, I do not make donations over the telephone because I don't have time to research the charity. I prefer to write a check and send my donation in the old-fashioned way. And I think I will stop there. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. This is where you can report scams. So you can report scams to the Consumer Protection Division. If it's a scam involving the internet or email, www.ic3.gov. If it's contact being initiated using the mail, you can contact the U.S. Postal Service inspector. So now I'll stop there.
Thank you, Janine. Next, we have David Finneran from the Maryland Home Improvement Maryland Home Improvement Commission.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dave Finneran. Like she said, I'm from the director of the Maryland Home Improvement Commission, and we are tasked with protecting the public from home improvement contractors. We've been serving the community since 1962. We have 34,000 licensed contractors and 3,000 licensed salespeople. And I find this event very timely with the recent tropical storm Isaias and the Baltimore gas explosion. There was a lot of wind damage, trees falling through houses and things like that during that tropical storm on the Eastern Shore. I'd like to touch on three subjects today. What is a home improvement? How to hire a contractor? What to do if the project doesn't go as you planned. So what is a home improvement? If we could, that slide that we have on the board right now, there's a list of categories there, quite a few of them that would fall under the home improvement category. We are anyone that contracts to install any of these products on a residential dwelling would need a MHIC, Maryland Home Improvement Commission contractor license. This would not fall under work on new homes, work on commercial buildings or agricultural buildings would not fall under the Home Improvement Commission. We are under the Department of Labor, and we're the agency tasked with the home improvement law, administering the home improvement law. How to hire a contractor. So you've decided you have a project that you need need to have, you'd like to have performed on your home. Over on the left-hand side of this slide, you'll see the helpful reminders. They're pretty quickly here. Avoid unlicensed home improvement contractors. I'm going to get into more detail on the next slide. Comparison shop. Don't use contractors that aren't skilled in the project that you're trying to have completed, and don't use any contractor that violates local building laws. The local building jurisdiction code officials are tasked with administering permits for projects. Some projects need permits, some don't require permits, but anything that is a home improvement still requires a licensed home improvement contractor. Don't pay a contractor before reading and signing a contract. I'm going to get into a little more detail on that. Don't pay for the entire cost of the home improvement job in advance. Maryland law prohibits a contractor from taking more than 1/3 deposit at the time of the signing of the contract. And request a copy of the contractor's liability insurance. And liability insurance is there in case there's consequential damage. If the contractor backs over your light pole, if he drops paint on the carpet, the liability insurance is there to give you a claim or a remedy for that kind of damage. Go ahead and turn to slide 2, please. All right, slide 2. I'm just going to go down there. We have 10 tips here for choosing a home improvement contractor. Number 1, decide which home improvement you want to make for your home. You're going to want a bathroom. Let's find a bathroom contractor. Let's see if we can do a little pre-planning. Think it through before you even call a home improvement contractor. Seek licensed contractors. Number 2, only hire licensed contractors. If you hire a licensed contractor, you're protected by, you have the benefit of home improvement law. You'll be protected. Not only you'll know you're using a licensed contractor that does have insurance, that has passed an exam to get his license, that is financially solvent. So those kind of reasons are certainly beneficial. But if you hire an unlicensed contractor to perform work on your home, you lose the protections of home improvement law. You can still file a complaint with us. Now it becomes a criminal complaint. And if we have a homeowner that is willing to testify in court and identify the contractor, and we have some evidence that the contractor performed home improvement work, we can take it forward and submit a criminal complaint and possibly get it into criminal court. So we lose a lot of the protections that you had with a licensed contractor. Item 3, obtain more than one estimate. If you have people that will refer, that's going to come up in question 7, item 7. But if you know relatives, friends that have had work done, similar work done, that's always a good source for getting contractor referrals. You want to get multiple estimates. The internet, you see all these services now that pop up that offer connections to different contractors. You can use one of those services, but again, they all have to be licensed. We're going to ask you to call or email the MHIC, the Home Improvement Commission, and have one of our staff look up your contractor, see if they're properly licensed. You can obtain their complaint history and a copy of their liability insurance information if you make contact with us. If you simply Google MHIC, we're going to be the second hit on the search bar, and you can click on our website there. There's multiple email addresses on there, and we're all in group emails as well, so many of the staff will see them and respond to you. Item 4, ask the contractor to show you their home improvement license. We issue a hard copy of a license, a hard copy of their license card. They're supposed to carry that on them. If they don't have it, please call us and we'll verify any information you see there. Check the contractor's licensing status. Again, that's a call to us, and we're going to tell you whether they've expired, if they have any disciplinary actions taken against them that might suspend their license or revoke it. Again, item 6 is check the contractor's record. That's all part of that phone call you're going to make to us. Item 7, we talked about. Item 8, use the contractor's right for you. Now you found out that they're licensed. You found out their complaint history. You've obtained an estimate. You've obtained multiple estimates. See how those estimates compare with other contractors. You also want to make sure that the contractor is skilled in the particular project that you're considering. You don't want to, although concrete is a licensed category under home improvement, you don't necessarily want a contractor that is strictly a concrete contractor putting in your kitchen. So let's get a contractor that's has some skills in the project that you're trying to perform. Always get a written contract. We do get complaints in here quite often where everything was oral, money was paid by cash. We don't have evidence. We don't have enough evidence to take an unlicensed contractor to criminal court, or if it's a licensed contractor, you really don't have enough. You need something in writing to prove your position, to defend your position in court, at hearings, even through our process. So let's make sure you get a written contract. You're entitled to a signed contract. Demand one if you're not offered one. We had a recent case where the homeowner was actually driven to an ATM and asked to extract money and give it to the contractor, and that didn't end well. So request to see a building permit. Number 10, if a building permit is required by the local jurisdiction, that contractor is responsible to make sure it's on the job. The homeowner can pull the permit, but the contractor is responsible to make sure that it is there. So make sure you can always call your local code official and ask them if a permit's required for the particular project that you're considering. Bonus tip here is do not pay before reading and signing the contract. I'm also going to add the caveat that you should seek the advice of a private attorney. I'd also want to let you know that you have a right to cancel a contract. There's a right of rescission clause in there that you have 5 days to cancel, or 7 days if you're 65 or older. So remember, you can cancel that contract pretty quickly if you find out you got in a bad deal or if you got a high pressure sale. The next one, Home Improvement Guarantee Fund. We administer a fund that will pay you back, that may issue you a monetary award if you had unsatisfactory or abandoned home improvement work from a licensed home improvement contractor. We'll pay you up to $20,000 or the amount that you actually paid the contractor, whichever is smaller, to help make your contract whole. And you can hire another licensed contractor to get the project done at that point. I think that's all I have. So I'm going to conclude my my part of the speech right there.
Thank you, David. Next, we have Patricia Dorn from the Maryland Insurance Administration Consumer Education and Advocacy Unit.
I'm going to talk on insurance fraud. Next slide. So what is insurance fraud? Insurance fraud is when an agent, an adjuster, or a consumer commits a deliberate deception for financial gain. Insurance fraud is one of the most costly crimes in our country, and it costs about $40 billion per year nationally. According to the Coalition on Insurance Fraud, it's estimated that each household pays approximately $1,000 in extra insurance premiums each year, and that's to offset the cost of insurance fraud. Committing insurance fraud can result in civil or criminal prosecution, jail time, penalties as high as $10,000, or jail time and penalties. Insurance fraud takes many forms, such as completing a false document, making a false statement, if an agent pockets a premium, they sell unauthorized insurance, if the consumer exaggerates a claim, or bills an insurer for services that were not provided, and also making a fraudulent claim. Again, in Maryland, insurance fraud can result in criminal prosecution and jail time, penalties, fines, and restitution. The Maryland Insurance Administration takes insurance fraud seriously, and we investigate all referrals of insurance fraud. So for the consumer, seniors are often targets of insurance fraud, and particularly with regards to life and health insurance fraud. But this is for everyone. Be wary of a salesperson or a telephone caller who, and this has been mentioned earlier already, contacts you unsolicited. The salesperson probably has obtained your information through a mailing list. Someone who uses high pressure tactics, and common tactics include offering you a last chance deal or a limited offer on an insurance product, or attempting to pressure you to sign forms without reviewing them. Other things to be aware of. Be careful if someone urges you to cash in an existing annuity or life insurance policy, to buy a new annuity or a new life insurance policy or another investment. So generally, annuities and life insurance are worth more the longer you keep them. So if you change to a new annuity or a policy, you could lose money over the next 3 to 5 years. You may also be charged a penalty if you withdraw money from your annuity early. So you really need to discuss the tax consequences of early withdrawal with your tax advisor. And this we discussed earlier. If somebody calls claiming to be from Medicare, Social Security, or another government agency, an agent or broker who claims to be associated with the government is breaking the law. Be careful if someone wants to sell you a package policy that includes several different benefits, some of which duplicate a policy you already have or include coverage you do not need. So be very careful. Make sure it's something that you need. Make sure it's something that you don't already have. Be careful if they want you to pay in cash or make a check or a money order payable directly to him or her. Never pay with cash. Always request a receipt. Be careful if they want you to sign forms that contain false or incomplete information or are blank. They say, hey, I'll fill that out for you later. That's definitely something to avoid. Or if they want to fill the forms out for you, make sure it's you who reads them over and you who understands the forms that you sign. If you're unsure whether an insurance product makes sense to you, you need to reach out to friends and family. You can reach out to a trusted accountant, an attorney, or a financial advisor before making that insurance purchase. Make sure that you understand what you're buying when you purchase an insurance product. And here's some tips to protect yourself from insurance fraud. Slow down and take your time and ask yourself, does this price seem too good to be true? Have you been shopping and you've had other amounts, you've had other quotes that were higher and now suddenly you got this great deal? That's maybe a time to step back and give it a little bit of thought. Pay with a check or a credit card. Make sure you receive your insurance cards and documents in a timely manner. So keep an eye out for those in the mail or an email or however you're going to receive them. Make sure you receive them. And if you don't, you need to call the agent or the broker that you spoke to, and you need to make sure they're on their way. Use caution with unsolicited contacts. Again, deal only with licensed insurance producers. They must maintain proof of being licensed. Ask to see it, or you can also call the Maryland Insurance Administration. Keep and review your insurance documents, including a copy of the insurance policy with the endorsements and declarations outlining your coverage and its limitations. And you are encouraged to report insurance fraud activities to the Maryland Insurance Administration's Insurance Fraud Division. You do not need to give your name. Just call the number here, 1-800-846-4069, or there's an email address here You can email fraud referrals by simply sending the completed form to that email address. And with that, I will pass it back to Joyce for a second.
Okay, we do have some questions. I have one. A family member received a phone call supposedly from Social Security. He said he was Officer Brown and that Social Security had been compromised. She hung up. But is there any way to get info for real police to track the call?
Is that for Diana?
Diana, can you answer that?
Yes, I will be unable to answer if the police can track the call, but certainly that is something that our Office of Inspector General needs to know. And you can actually report that to the Office of Inspector General. And the phone number for the Office of Inspector General, and you can just contact Social Security also, and the website, you can complete the fraud report online. You can complete the fraud report online at socialsecurity.gov.
Thank you. Dave, I have a question for you regarding home improvement contractors. Is it typical or rare to receive an itemized estimate so that it shows expected labor and material and parts?
It's not necessary that the contract be broken down to that degree. There are a lot of elements in the contract that are required, but a breakdown of all the different material and labor is not a requirement, although you will see it on numerous, not a requirement.
Okay, and I have one more. I just want to make sure I interpret this correctly. Generally, I advise my clients that government agencies do not make unsolicited calls without having prearranged a date and time with that agency. During the pandemic, while Social Security offices are closed, is Social Security making phone calls regarding Social Security accounts?
We are actually conducting our businesses either by phone or asking people to conduct their businesses online. We do make phone calls. But once again, that is for people that are already receiving benefits, for people that are applying for benefits. If you're receiving a call, it depends on what they are telling you. Remember that I said that the most common calls that scammers are making at this time is that they are saying that they're going to cancel your Social Security number because there is suspicious activity. You can always contact us. Our toll-free number is 1-800-772-1213. If you have access to the internet, visit socialsecurity.gov. You can visit the office locator, and you can just input the zip code where you live. We are going to give you the phone number for your local office. Please be cautious when you receive these calls.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Some people have asked about the slides. The slides and a recording of this webinar will be available on the Insurance Administration's website under the webinar tab, www.insurance.maryland.gov. It will probably be posted in the next day or two once the recording is finalized. And at this point, Patty, I do not see any other questions in
All right.
the chat windows.
All right, I'll close it then.
Oh,
Go ahead.
if anybody does have any questions for any of the four speakers, their email addresses are on this last slide.
All right, I just want to thank all of you so much. I want to thank the speakers for presenting at this virtual government agency expo. I want to thank all of you for attending the event and being willing to spend time to educate yourself about how you can protect yourself from frauds and scams, and hopefully protect yourself, your family members, and others. And as Joyce said, the webinar has been recorded. It will be available soon. Any unanswered questions, you have the information here. Please send that information to the speaker or myself. And in the future, don't hesitate to contact us with questions at the Maryland Insurance Administration. Thank you to everyone for your attendance.